Ubisoft is decommissioning games in September 2022, removing your access to some of the single-player content as well as DLCs you purchased. Let's begin. Service games might be the coolest collective joint in a disjointed world right now, a great place to get together with friends from around the world and shoot holes into aliens, but they have a huge inherent gaping problem, and some of them just continue to get exposed. If you're like me, every single time you jump into one of these, it's a little like cooking a hot dog on a forest fire. It's fast, but you know that shit's going to burn you at some point. One of the main ways in which they can do that is online service connected games always have the chance of being shut down or access to your purchases and content removed. Look no further than Destiny's flaunted vaulting program, removing content from consumers and somehow getting everyone to pat them on the back for it. But let's move to another company for a second, a company that's already shown its hand with NFT stamped numbers on helmets trying to sell you logically questionable items of play to earn, as if every single person who mixes their hobby with money doesn't warn you that putting the two together aren't the best lovers. Let's look at Ubisoft. A couple of days ago, Ubisoft released a blog article on their website about decommissioning some older games. First, it shouldn't be lost to us that Ubisoft basically used smoke signals and a fucking Ricola commercial to inform people of this in the 21st century, or that Ubisoft has a YouTube channel, over 2.14 million subscribers, and yet their last video was a stream 3 weeks ago for For Honor, which is a service game, by the way, and it doesn't have a video announcing this. No, let's look at their blog. The games listed here, the single-player campaigns, will be mostly untouched, possibly playable offline, but online modes and features will be offline after the 1st of September, and that includes the ability to access and download DLC that you bought. Let's look at their blog post, Decommissioning of Online Services, September 2022. Closing the online services for some older games allows us to focus our resources on delivering great experiences for players who are playing newer or more popular titles. To help us achieve this, a number of older titles will be added to our list of decommissioned online services on 1st of September 2022. Below, you're going to find a detailed breakdown for the effects of this new round of decommissions per platform. And then as you start to read this, you realize some weird things are on here. For example, this includes Space Junkies VR, at this time still for sale on Steam. That's multiplayer only. Anno 2070 multiplayer, linking accounts, online features. Assassin's Creed 2 and 3 and Brotherhood losing multiplayer linking accounts, online features, with Brotherhood also losing access to DLC. Assassin's Creed Liberation HD multiplayer, linking accounts, online features, accessing the DLC. Driver, San Francisco, 2011. Multiplayer, linking accounts, online features, access to DLC. There's a pattern here. Far Cry 3, same, access to DLC. Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands, 2010. Co-op, multiplayer, linking accounts, online features, and access to your DLC. Silent Hunter, also, same things, including access to your DLC. Splinter Cell, Blacklist, multiplayer, linking accounts, and online features. But let's circle back to the last bit that they say. Closing the online services for some older games allows for us to focus our resources on delivering great experiences for players who are playing newer or more popular titles. That makes no sense. Those who are enjoying their current DLC and those online modes can still buy most of the games that are going to be impacted. For example, like I said, Space Junkies on Steam right now. There's a number of ways that consumers could be protected from losing access to entire swaths of DLC that have been bought. First, every way that these games can be purchased needs to have a warning front and center that states this very clearly. Second, when downloading or interacting with any of these games, their online versions also need to have these warnings in every single game the moment you go into them. Online is a significant part, but the more worrying part to me is that purchased and owned DLC will no longer be available or downloadable for the game. There are a massive number of ways to work around this. You could have certification systems built into the stores for games purchased prior to this date that lets the DLC just be downloaded without checks, and other ways to remove copyright services on just the DLC protections themselves. Here's where things get weird though. Anno 2070 developers then posted their own update, and it says, today we're informing you that Ubisoft has decided to decommission online services for some older games on September 1st, including Anno 2070. You can find the full list of impacted games, and they give you a link. And as you know, Anno 2070 has several features tied to its online services. That said, after an initial investigation, we've decided to dedicate some of our development resources to work on upgrading Anno 2070's aged online services infrastructure to a new system so that these features can continue to be used past the mentioned date. However, we cannot guarantee that they will be able to successfully upgrade, replace the old services as we'd like to. End of that quote. So there you go. It's completely something even a lot of the devs seem to at least be surprised about, or at the very least, trying to help consumers for. Right now, there's a high chance that you're playing a game that will be impacted by some kinds of these issues as well. You need to care about this stuff, even if you don't like these older games or don't like Ubisoft. Online support may come and go, though companies should be working to offer private servers or make sure that there's a peer-to-peer system in place for planned decommissioning. But even the most popular service brands, your Destinys, Outriders, other games of this kind, will have this in the future. And we simply cannot trust the companies to continue to do this and take care of the consumer. That's a bit like trusting TikTok's data privacy as we all suddenly get hello and welcome to China letters from Xi Jinping. And I get it, things change, like when Ubisoft used to, release insanely good games like Splinter Cell, or consumers could at very least hope that companies weren't so busy trying to grift the next weekly paycheck from a consumer that they have the audacity to forget to use one of the major means of vocalization that they pimp themselves, which is their own YouTube channel, to tell us. Sure. Old games, sure. Some of them in the remixed versions won't be impacted. And yes, I said remixed for a reason. But come on, I think we can all agree that if someone only bought your game and the separate DLC package, if they actually showed that much interest and effort that many new gamers weren't required to do, as the remixes a lot of times held that DLC, that we could reach out just a little bit and program some Apple II computer in a basement to hold the packages for verified fans to download the content they bought. But no, Ubisoft will say that's impossible, as even smaller devs and some other questionable workers within this area have shown that it actually is indeed possible. This absolutely sucks. Want to know what you guys think? Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thumbs down if you didn't. Tell me what you expect. Tell me what you want from Ubisoft. And tell me what you plan to do with future games. Because if you sit here and think this is just Ubisoft, I got a lot of defunct crypto coin to sell you. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your week. This video sponsor is Manscraper. Do you have too much cush in your push? Do you suffer from too much traction and action while you're thrashing and bashing at the late night smashing? Try Manscraper. Manscraper is for the manly man. Sure, you can get little kid trimmers from the competitors as they daintily dance around your third arm and muckles. Manscaped is for a different beast. It's for dudes from another brood who didn't politely need to clip but need to hedge trim like they leg-choked Wilt Chamberlain in the glory years. Using our patent-pending 15-horsepower chipper shredder with advanced gonad alert technology, we can promise you the best shave you're ever going to get. And with Manscaped 2.0, there's approximately 12% less chance of injury. For only $499.99, you can get the Manscraper. 4 plastic bags for collecting your work and a 6-ounce container of aloe vera. If you order now, we'll also throw in the Demanscalator. If you have nose thunder, down under, or just need a good washing, just hang our 4.2-pound Demanscalator from your junk. Why shower when you can power through the hour, smelling like a tower of flowers? The Demanscalator gives your wrinkled boys the washing of a lifetime, certified to pass any antibacterial test for 6 months after use. Current research shows no impact on fertility.